Hi, for today's video, I will be demonstrating how to replicate a table from Dynamics 365 to SAP Hana using Advantco's Dynamics Adapter and SDI. The first thing we need to do is deploy our adapter on our data provision agent in order for it to work with the server. The agent can be deployed on any environment, and after the adapter is deployed on the agent, we must register it with the server and create our remote source. Our remote source is our connection for this scenario, and in this case, it's our connection to Dynamics 365. And in our remote source, we must specify the adapter we'll be using and the location. As I mentioned earlier, it is deployed on the agent. In order to create our remote source, we first must go into our catalog under provisioning and then remote sources. There, we can specify the properties we need, such as our Dynamics properties and the credentials needed to log in. After creating our remote source, we then can see all the objects in our Dynamics instance and create a virtual table for the object of our choosing. For this scenario, I'll be creating a virtual table for the account object. As you can see right here, I have already created one. This virtual table is a real-time connection to Dynamics, whereas a real table is just the replicated data stored on the local server. Next, after establishing our virtual table, we need to replicate the data to a real table. We do this by going into the editor and locating the package we need a replication test for. For this scenario, I'll be using the Dynamics US demo package and creating a replication test for that. We do this by right-clicking and then going to New and then selecting Replication Task, as you can see right here. We then select the remote source we defined earlier, our target schema, and our virtual table. After doing that, we want to select Add Objects. This will gather the objects from our Dynamics instance, and we can select the certain one we need for our scenario today. As I said earlier, we'll be using the account. So we select account right here. Our target name prefix will be real table. And then here we want to make sure our replication behavior is initial with streaming, because it will replicate the data initially, and then any change made to the Dynamics instance will be then triggered to change the table here in HANA. After selecting our object and then defining our replication behavior, we then can see the fields underneath our account object and choose to delete some of them if we choose to. This is because the less fields that need to be replicated, the quicker it takes. After we go through that, we then need to execute this task. As you can see right here, I have started it and it is executed successfully. Then we want to go back into our catalog. As you can see, after we refresh our tables, we can see the virtual table right here and the replicated real table right here as well. As you can see, using Advantco's Dynamics 365 adapter, it's quick and easy to integrate with SAP HANA.